Today, I'm going to talk about how to avoid parasites in your chickens and also how to deworm your chickens. Let's go. I'm Becky. I used to live in the consumer rat race just like you. But one day, I had enough. So I sold it all, moved to the country, and built my own log cabin with my own two hands. Now, I spend my time discovering new ways to live a simple, healthy lifestyle with more free time and way less stress. Then, sharing what I've learned with you. Welcome to Becky's Homestead. Okay, a lot of people contact me and they have problems with parasites and deworming their chickens, which of course makes an unhealthy chicken. If you want steady, awesome egg production, you have to keep your chickens healthy. Have to. Doesn't work any other way. So it starts with a coop. You have to have a great coop, and I'm just going to quickly describe the coop. Long perches. They need plenty of room to spread out. They don't all love each other as much as you think they do. They need room. Make 2 perches. So if it doesn't work out up here, they're mean, it can sleep on this one. Also, it can jump down easier. Now, with the heavier breeds that get older, even this will be too far of a jump unless you have more of a distance. This wall is a little too close, so they can't flutter down. So what I do is just put a little ramp and then a stair, so that all this, they figure it out and there's no problems. You don't want your hen to jump off this bottom one and break an egg inside them because they like plop on the ground. So that can happen. So you just want to avoid that. The key to chickens is avoiding problems, not constantly treating problems. Okay, the next thing is parasites. Let me tell you what happens with chickens. People get way too many chickens. Of course, they're little, they're adorable, and they're almost like you go to the donut store. You're like, I'll have 3 of those, and oh, those look good. Give me 2 of those, and before you know it, you're leaving with 2 dozen boxes, 2 dozen donuts. Well, it's the same thing with little chicken babies. So you have to be control. You need self-control when you're getting your baby chickens. So really what you have to do is, analyze how big your coop is, how many eggs you really need. You don't want to be feeding 1 million chickens when let's just say you need a dozen or 2 a week for your family. So just figure all that, calculate all that, and then get what you need. Self-control. Second is when they are overcrowded, they are so stressed out, their immunity goes down, and that's when parasites will attack them. Because, when you're just down, you're just physically down, you get more colds, you get sicker, you sprain your ankle because you're tired, you're not feeling well. Like, everything just goes downhill. So, when you're healthy and you got everything humming along, you're feeling great, you're like, yeah, you could, accomplish so much more. Well, it's the same thing in the animal kingdom. Stressed out animals are weaker, they get sick easier. Parasites are going to go get those chickens, because they're easy pickings, they're down. So make sure you don't overcrowd your coop, number 1. No, because also that makes more poop, and it also gives them the stress, so they're unhealthy. And with more poop, there's more flies. Just flies are bringing in whatever dirty stuff flies bring in. You don't want 1 million flies. So don't overcrowd your coop, and if your coop, you're like, oh, it's already overcrowded. Okay, well, no problem. You can still fix it. Get rid of some of the chickens, give them to somebody, sell them, or make your coop and your chicken run bigger. Big, huge, way bigger than you think. If you want to have long-term healthy chickens, way bigger than you think. Okay, now I laugh because it's the truth though. You have to make a huge coop and a run. Secondly, to deworm your chickens couldn't be easier. This is my chicken feed pan, container right here. Now right now it's just left in the bag, and I do, I'll change things up according to what I can quickly buy or whatever. I do change things up a tiny bit, but it's basically the same thing. So let me get this right here so you can see it. This is, this just like 6-grain scratch. And then I put this right here. This is very high quality, grain-free 22% protein cat kibble, which is from fish, which is awesome protein. So your chickens need a lot of protein. And even though my yard looks big and you're like, oh, well, they'll get plenty of bugs. It depends how much you let them out and everything. And they will eat all your bugs. They can eat all the bugs to where they're not getting enough bugs. And so you still have to add protein. And you can tell because the egg production will just slow down. If that happens, give them more meat. They need meat. They need meat protein. They don't need soybean protein. They need meat protein. Okay, so what I wanted to point out about this too is, here, let me get another scoop again. As you can see, it's ever so slightly white on the cat. You can see it mostly on the cat kibble. It's because I just put the diatomaceous earth in the bag. And so many people get hung up on how much. Just start with a cup. Just put a cup in the bag. This chicken bag is 40 pounds. Let me just look to make sure. 50-pound bag. Just put a cup in there. Mix it through. Just mix. Get all that powder down in there. That's how you're going to deworm your chickens. Another thing I want to tell you, hold on one second. I'm going to go back in the coop. What I want to tell you that I've learned over the years and years and years of keeping chickens, one way you can tell is how your chickens have worms, is if your eggs have any poop on them. If they don't come out, look I just got these out of the nest box. Perfectly clean, perfect dry eggs. Just everything about them. You're just like, mwah, they're perfect eggs. If your eggs have wet poop, white stuff, anything on them, your chickens have worms. Deworm them with the diatomaceous earth in the big bag of food. The nice thing about that is they're going to get a little bit of dewormer every single day. So it just keeps the worms away. When they poop, there's no worms in their poop. There's no worm eggs in their poop. It just keeps everything clean and running smooth. And you don't have gross, you don't go to your coop to get eggs and you're like, oh, those are gross. You're like picking them up. You're like, oh, those are kind of gross. And then you got to go inside and wash them or whatever, you know. And a lot of people will be like, oh, you can't wash your eggs because it puts bacteria on them. And I'm like, poop is bacteria. It's like, you can wash the poop off your eggs. Trust me. Wash the poop off your eggs. It's like, but more importantly, just deworm them and then you won't have to wash the poop off your eggs. Let me put my eggs right here. And what's funny is those naughty crows will come and get my eggs if I forget to bring them in the house. What you want to have is a nice big outdoor space for your chickens. You call that the run. There's the chicken house, the hen house. Here's the run. Together, it makes the chicken coop. Just so you know, there's two parts to a chicken coop. The hen house and the run. Make sure you have a nice big run. Now, as you can see, that cedar tree is a baby tree, so it doesn't cast full shade over here. So I built my chicken coop here. I wanted it very close to my cabin so I can quickly get my eggs and take care of my chickens. And I knew that tree was going to grow fast and, you know, cast a lot of shade. But in the meantime, I just put these, you know, these sun tarps on here. I double them. But what you want is it big. And you see I have two little perches out here. So, you know, they jump around, they dig. Don't worry if people might see it and be like, oh, they dig it all up. What, like, who cares? It's theirs. It's theirs. It's their home. They can dig it all up. They love it. Pick and scratch around. When you get your crushed oyster shells, just dump the whole bag in the run. Don't worry about it. Don't be like, oh, I got to dole it out. 3 pieces for each chicken. I'm being silly. Just dump the whole bag in there. They work it all out. They're perfectly capable. Don't worry about it. And that way you don't have to forget about it and be like, oh, I need to give it to him. I forgot to give it to him. Now my shells are too soft and you just have problems. Just avoid that. Dump it all in there. It won't hurt anything. I'm going to put a link in the description of the diatomaceous earth I use and also my chicken book, Becky's Guide to Backyard Chickens. So check that out. Click on the link. Thanks for watching. Happy homesteading. Bye-bye.